My name is Martin. In this video I'm going to show you how to play my game, Croanian Wave. This game is set in medieval Japan. As you can see, we have a big map of Japan here in front of us with all the provinces and clans. And we have got a bunch of cards over here. White army. Red army over here for the second player. And some neutral guys that I'm going to show you later. You first take one of the neutral armies, in this case it's the castle, and place it in Yamashiro province, which is where the capital Kyoto is located at this point in time. Then you take one of the daimyo, which is a leader of a clan. In this case, the nominal leader of all of Japan, the shogun. Well, the nominal leader is the emperor, but in reality it's the shogun. And we place him here also in Yamashiro province, so we have our capital populated. We take another two castles and place them where the Buddhist warrior monks have their strongholds, which is Ki province over here and Kaga province over there. And by the way, sorry if you're Japanese, I'm going to butcher all these Japanese names. Yeah, no idea how to pronounce them correctly. Bear with me here. You can see all these cards have an N here, and all those are not necessary at the start of the game. They're going to be introduced later, once the Portuguese arrive to trade. As you can see, we have all the rest of the cards over there on a marked spot, which you cannot read it, but it says draw pile below, and there's an empty spot for discarded card next to it. The next step is for the players to place their armies. So for the red player, I'm now taking a castle and a daimyo, and I have to place them in an empty main province. You can easily recognize the main provinces because those are the provinces that have bigger clan symbols. So I place the red castle and daimyo over here in Tosei province, which is the main province of Chosokabe clan. For the white player, I'm also taking a daimyo, a castle, and I place them, because why not, right in the province next to where I just placed the red ones. I could technically choose any empty province that is a main province, but to show you some action, I'm just going to start off both players right next to each other. Next up, we have to place neutral armies in all the rest of the main provinces that are empty now. So we place neutral Ashigaru in all the empty main provinces. As you can see, the map is quite populated now. Neutral armies everywhere. Now it's time for the players to place the rest of their armies. So in 2-player games, you take 6 of your Ashigaru. Then you also take 1 cavalry. And a samurai. And 2 ships, which are called bune. I now have to place those next to the regions I already own. I always place 2 right after each other, then my opponent's turn. So I start off by just placing an ordinary Ashigaru, this province, which is obviously next to the one I already own, and then I place a ship in the C province next to the province I own now. Now it's white's turn, so white is doing the same, placing Ashigaru and the ship. Red again. Red is placing 2 Ashigaru here. White's turn. White is placing 1 here and 1 here. Red again. 2 more Ashigaru left to place for white. So I put them here and here. And setup is finished. So it's time for red to start his first turn. During your turn you have several actions. Here in the corner is a sequence of your turn. So, you always start by moving one army if you want to. We're not going to do that right now, we just placed anything anyway. And then you have 3 actions that you can spend during your turn. You can move 2 more armies, or, well, we don't want to move. You can draw a card, you can play a card. Some cards may require no action actually to be played, some may require more than 1 action, but most of them just require 1 action to play 1 card. Then you can attack somebody's province, or you can just discard as many cards as you want for 1 action. Then, once your turn is over, you have to discard all the cards that you have too many. The more provinces you hold, the less cards you are going to be allowed to have at the end of your turn. Lastly, you can draw a card for every 2 controlled territories. So for every 2 main provinces you hold, you can draw 1 card for free at the end of your turn. Here in the center you can see the score track. Just take any of your armies that you don't need and place them where it indicates how many provinces you already control. So just 1 for white right now, obviously, and 1 for red. And below the number, you can always see how many cards you are allowed to hold at the end of your turn if you control that many provinces. Also, every second province is marked with a plus to show you that this province allows you to take 1 more card. And over here you can see all the units. Here's Ashigaru, Samurai, Bune, Cavalry, Lancer, and all their fighting values. We don't need to have a look at that right now. Over here on the other side it's the remaining castle, Sohai, which are the warrior monks, Teppo, the guys with the guns, and your daimyo. So finally time to start Red's turn. We don't want to move, we have established that. So we have 3 actions. Let's spend our entire first turn with drawing cards. So 1 card, 2nd card. Oh, here we already have something special. Those cards marked with the yin yang are events. Events are special cards. You just have to do what the text says, basically. It's not a card you play, it's just something that happens during the game to spice things up a little bit. Now, this specific card is basically an event that shows that the neutral factions attack. So each player would now be allowed to make an attack with the neutral army, but we are just going to ignore this card for now and start with normal gameplay. So just put this to the discard pile. No player wants to attack anything right now. And let's draw a 3rd card. So actually we have 2 identical cards here. And those are actually the cards that are the most common ones in the game, which just allow you to place an Ashigaru, which is the most common unit. So these cards allow you to place an Ashigaru anywhere that the card shows with this black area, which is the Tokaido region. On the map, if you have a look here, you can see that this is all the red areas, like all the areas that have a red border. In this case are Tokaido region. And you can place a new, in this case also red, because we are the red player right now, figure anywhere in this region. As the next player, we also don't want to move an army, which would be our first allowed free action, but we certainly want to take our 3 regular actions. And we don't want to move anything as we established, we don't want to play a card because we have none, we don't want to attack, we have no cards to discard, but we also want to draw. So let's draw our first card. We draw a Shinobi. Shinobi are the ninja, basically, if you want to have that name. They allow you to kill daimyo, which are pretty strong units, and you get to kill them with 1 single card if you have these. And it's actually, if you have a look over here, it's a free action. Doesn't even take you a turn. Alright, I've got 2 more actions. Another Shinobi. And a Sohai. Back to Red's turn. We don't want to make our free move yet, but we certainly want to take our actions. So if you remember, we had these 2 cards here that allowed us to place 2 armies. We're going to use them. to the discard pile with them. So take 2 Ashigaru, and I'm going to place them here and here. As the card says, anywhere in Tokaido. And these red regions certainly are part of Tokaido. Now I'm placing them there because I want to conquer Kai province here, which is the main province of the Takeda clan. Okay, there's 2 ways we can attack now. We can just attack with one of our guys, or we can attack with both of them. So, to demonstrate how this works, I'm just going to attack with one now. So, Ashigaru has an attack of 1 and a defense value of 1, which basically just means both of them are going to kill guys worth 1 point. So, Ashigaru is 1. He's dead. He's dead. Province is empty, but we didn't gain anything. So let's put them back. And what we actually want to do is attack with both of them. So both of them together have an attack strength of 2, and the defense is still 1. And this allows us to move in a guy as well, because if we attack with all of them, we kill, first of all, as many guys as we have attack and defense weighed against each other. So we have 1 and 1. 1 is dead here, 1 is dead here. But we don't really have an attack of 1 because there's this other guy, so we really had an attack of 2. Which means we still have points left in this attack. So we can move all those guys back into the province now, and this just means we conquer the province right now. That concludes our turn because we spent our 3 actions that we can do. But we need to discard surplus cards. Well, we don't have any cards, nothing to discard. However, we certainly have cards to draw, because we just gained a second province, and here's the symbol. It says as we can draw a free card now at the end of each of our turns. So we get a free card, which is a boon. We can place a ship next turn. But first, it's White's turn. Back to White. As you remember, White has got these 2 fine little shinobi here, and we are going to wreak havoc with those. First, let's discard them. Remember, they are a free action. This doesn't even cost us any actions, so we can kill leaders. Actually, with White, we are next to the Shogun in Kyoto, so we're going to just kill the Shogun in Kyoto. Makes it a lot easier later to conquer this province. And secondly, we started next to Red. So we can also kill Red's leader, dealing a heavy blow to our opponent. Looks like this was a great turn already, and we didn't even spend a single action yet. We are going to spend some action now, however, because we also still got this Sohai, which is 2 actions, so that's going to take care of that many actions. We can place them anywhere we are. Yeah, let's prepare to attack from the capital. We're going to place our Sohai here for an attack later. We have actually still 1 action left. So why we don't take the capital actually? We may have killed the daimyo in there, but there's still a castle defending the place. And I can tell you the castle cannot attack, but it can defend very well. It has a defensive strength of 4. So we actually need to gather together 4 attack points to be even able to destroy the castle, and 5 at least if we also want to move into the province after the attack. Alright, let's perform the attack. Let's remove the castle. Remember, it has a defensive strength of 4. Way over here. And now we need to remove as many guys as we need to match that 4. when we count our offensive strength. We have an Ashigaru, 1 point, we have another Ashigaru, 2 points, and we also have a Samurai, who actually has an attack strength of 2. So, removing the Samurai, we are at 4. We just removed as many as the castle had defense. But we get more guys, so we can actually move in this Ashigaru here, and now we have conquered the province. Which makes it 3 actions, which conclude our 3 actions that we are allowed to take. And it's time to discard cards. Well, we don't have any. We spent all. And we also are at 2 provinces now. Or 2 clan territories, rather. So we also can draw a card for free at the end of the turn. Let's see. Oh, it's also a ship. Very well. The conquest of Kyoto shall now conclude this little video. You should have a good idea now how the game works. It was just a basic overview. We touched on most of the aspects. Of course, there are a lot of different cards in the game that have different effects. We didn't even use all the units, etc. But you should have a good idea how the basic concept works. If you want to, you can download the game for free, try it out, and give me feedback. Ciao.